This is That Guy Jig Sports Podcast. I am him, JIG. Subscribe, rate, and review. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon, or wherever you get your podcasts, look out for us. Remember to subscribe, rate, and review. This is the last leg this week. It's Friday, the best day, the end of the work week, the last episode of the 3, the NFL, Week 18. Now, let's get it all started off right. Congratulations to all the fantasy football champs. Congratulations to all the fantasy football champs. I hope I was there to help. Because if you listened, that means you prepared for Christian McCaffrey to go off. And I would hope that since he didn't, you were just like me. And you were hoisting up that trophy. You were getting that cash app. But like I said, listen, in the words of Jalen Hurts, money is good. Championships are better. If you won your fantasy football league, you are officially immortal. Your name will live on forever. That's what we do championships for. And let me ask you this. Who got third place in your league? You don't know. Who got second? You can barely remember his name because he's the first loser. You're the first loser. Welcome to the winner circle, people. Welcome to championship lane. Welcome to championship row. But week 18, there's teams that are resting players getting ready for playoffs. The NFL is getting ready for their playoffs. Lamar Jackson is looking like he's going to win the MVP. If you've been with me since the beginning, you can remember me telling you about week 4 that Lamar Jackson is quietly winning the MVP race. Between week 4 and week 7, he was quietly winning it. And then the whispers became a little bit louder. And now look at them. The Ravens are looking good, folks. This is one of the best teams I've seen top to bottom this year. We're talking defense. We're talking offense. Receivers are showing up. Run game. If they had Mark Andrews, this would be scary. So I look for the Ravens to have a big run, a long run, and possibly win a Super Bowl this year. I like the Ravens coming out the AFC. I like the Ravens. I can see a Ravens Philly. Huh? I can see the Ravens in Philly. The 49ers, to me, I understand that they're the beast of the East. And not really the East, but just listen to me. That's another complete football team over there. That's another football team that top to bottom is just a complete offense, defense, special teams, solid, good. Offensive line, solid, good. One of the best in the NFL. Running back, MVP candidate. Responsible for over 20 touchdowns this year. Some teams don't even have 20 touchdowns. They have one guy that's done that. Deebo Samuel's the ultimate Swiss Army knife that every NFL team wishes they had. Brandon Ayuk is possibly one of top 15 receivers in the NFL. Possibly. I mean, you could really start arguing top 15. Top 20 for sure, but top 15, you're arguing a little bit. Top 10, I'm hanging up on you. But George Kittle, top five tight end in the NFL. So like I said, this team is stacked. Defense, they got a great secondary. Charvarius Ward is a ball hawk. You got Fred Warner, don't run his way. And that defensive line is a force to be reckoned with. So top to bottom, the 49ers are a great team. But the one flaw on that team is the quarterback position. As good as Brock Purdy has been this year, he has given us signs of, hey, maybe we draft a quarterback for insurance. Maybe we bring a quarterback in for insurance purposes just because Brock Purdy, he gotten hurt. And now, this year he's showing us some inconsistent football. And like I said, and listen, I just named off a quarterback's dream in the NFL. I just named off an offensive coordinator's best. An offensive coordinator can't ask for something better than what the 49ers have. So what I'm saying is, How long do the 49ers go without a championship with this roster before they say, hey, we might have to make a change at the quarterback position? We might actually have to go spend some money and draft a quarterback. I mean, Brock Purdy has had a great run so far, folks. He's had a great run. I mean, from Mr. Irrelevant to a possible MVP candidate, that's great. I mean, we saw what the 49ers were without him. We saw what they were without him. I mean, we saw what they were without a quarterback in general. But my point is let's say the 49ers don't go and win a chip this year. Do we look at Brock Purdy different? Do we hold Brock Purdy to the same measures of everybody else? And let's say that, and listen, and maybe it's not championship or bust. Let's just say NFC championship game. NFC championship game. If the 49ers aren't there, is it a bust? Is it time to reconsider? These are questions that need answers, and we're going to find out here in playoffs because last year the 49ers had they had the best excuse in the world. We lost our quarterback and we lost the backup. We had to play a quarterback with a running back. That's the only reason why we lost. They came out this year and punched that team in the mouth. They did punch the Eagles in the mouth. So it's going to be interesting to see. When you do it in the regular season, the only thing we are missing is postseason play, and that's coming up. So those two teams right there, those are two teams I can see. But at the end of the day, I think Philly has the nod for me over the 49ers because of the quarterback position. I just think the quarterback position, is going to be, that's what it's going to come down to in the NFC. I think the Cowboys have a chance. A dark horse team, I'm telling you, the Los Angeles Rams. Matthew Stafford, Puka, Cooper Kupp, and Kyren Williams. That offense is very potent. Do not be surprised if the Los Angeles Rams make a great postseason run. I'm telling you, the Stafford's out this week. He's going to get his rest. Cooper Kupp's going to get his rest. Aaron Donald's getting his rest. Ernest Jones is getting his rest. I mean, this team is going to be. I wouldn't want to play the Rams first round. I damn sure wouldn't want to see him in the wild card. Matthew Stafford is a silent assassin, man. He's a silent assassin. I'm telling you this. But moving on to the matchups for this week, we got Pittsburgh at the Ravens. I mean, Ravens are, resting their players. But still, Tyler Huntley has something to prove, So this, hey, that's going to be a solid game right there. Houston and Colts, the winner of this game goes to the playoffs, and the winner probably wins the AFC South. Now, this is going to be a solid game. I think this might be Sunday Night Football. This might be prime time, as far as like the type of game. I'm not saying that's the time it comes on. I do not know the exact time. I'm saying this is going to be a good game. Postseason hopes on the line. Gardner Minshew, he's playing for pride. He's playing for a job as the backup. I mean, this is C.J. Stroud's trying to take a team to the playoff as a rookie. I mean, he's trying to let you know we're here to win now. We're not waiting. We're not tanking and going. We're here now. Atlanta and the Saints play. That's going to be another divisional game. And if the Buccaneers lose to the Panthers, then the winner of this game would win the division. I don't see the Buccaneers losing. Baker Mayfield is playing. So it looks like this game is going to be for the first loser spot. And honestly, in that division, that's not saying much. I think the Saints need to move on from Dennis Allen. I think Alvin Kamara needs to find his way out of New Orleans. I think that whole situation is a big clusterfuck. I mean, when you have Alvin Kamara, Chris Olave, Mike Thomas, even though he hasn't been healthy since Obama. I think Obama was president the last time Mike Thomas was actually healthy. Juwan Johnson has shown up. Taysom Hill, he's the poor man's Deebo Samuels. That defense has always been a solid top 15 defense. And you mean to tell me we're battling it out in the playoff? We are fighting for playoff berths when in a division where Tom Brady is not there anymore? This is a problem. Atlanta's bad. We know that. Atlanta's bad. And maybe New Orleans missed with the Derek Carr thing. It seems so. But what I'm saying is, even Derek Carr is not that bad to where you're scrapping it out with the Atlanta Falcons. The Saints should have won this division this year. I think when we look back, we're gonna look back and say that that is a real good shit job by Dennis Allen. Once again, the guy can't win. The guy can't win, but he keeps getting jobs. That's that NFL head coaching carousel. Once you get on it, you're good, man. You're always gonna find a way back onto another fucking animal. And the Falcons, if they lose, which I anticipate they lose, road game, I I anticipate they move on from their coach too. They need to. I mean, I get it, give the guy 4 years, but at this point, you you have too many good weapons on that offense. That defense is clearly solid. Once again, I'm asking why are we fighting in a playoff situation? They shit the bed late. Something has to be figured out. It has to be leadership at this point, correct? We know we have talent. We know we need a quarterback. At this point, it's been 3 seasons, about to give him his fourth. Do we pull the plug before or midway or after? Do you just go ahead and just snatch the Band-Aid right off? So they're playing for something. The Browns and the Bengals. This is one of them games where I see the Bengals probably getting the victory. I think they have more starters playing. This is just why, one of them incentive games. Get your stats right, stay healthy, go off into the season right. Joe Burrow will probably come back. The Bengals are probably got some offseason moves they need to make. The Browns they are locked up in the playoffs. They're just trying to stay healthy. Look for Strong to do some good stuff on the Sunday. Maybe an anytime touchdown for him. He'll probably get in the paint. The Jags and the Titans. Trevor Lawrence is a game time decision. I don't think he plays. I would take the Titans if he doesn't play for some money line purposes. The Titans are. This is a team where you can see the blow up coming. You can see the blow up. They just can't. They just can't get a quarterback. They're just like the Saints and the Falcons. They need a quarterback. Buccaneers and the Panthers. I mean, the Buccaneers should get into the playoffs. Baker Mayfield should have a good game, good solid game. But this Panthers defense is no chump. The Panthers offense is no slouch. They're just young, and Bryce Young is young. No pun intended. His offensive line, it does suck. But at the end of the day, this defense is going to make enough plays to keep them in the game. With Baker Mayfield missing some practices too, he could be rusty. This is a road game, folks. Road games are never easy in the NFL. We got the Giants and the Pats. We got the Jets and the Pats. That's going to be a real poop bowl. Patriots have the number 3 pick right now, so look for them not to really give a fuck about too much. They understand the assignment. All this Bill Belichick stuff, he's getting fired out. I don't believe it. I believe Buttery Bill will still be there next year. I think Buttery Bill will be selecting Jaden Daniels with the first pick. And I think he's going to get him one of these dual threat athletic quarterbacks that's going to keep him in the game. He's going to go the complete opposite of Mac Jones because that was a complete bust. Zappy, complete bust. He has shit the bed since Tom Brady. He understands the assignment. I think this assignment that he's about to turn in is going to be one of the greatest projects we've ever seen. Minnesota and the Lions. This is a rivalry game. Lions are already locked up at their playoff spot. After what happened to them, look for them to probably get some stress out, get some stress points out there. Really put it on Minnesota early, and then get their starters up out of there. Green Bay and Chicago. This game right here, the same division. This game's going to be a little more close because this is the bottom versus the bottom. This is Jordan Love. He's trying to prove himself. Post Aaron Rodgers, great year. If you think about everything that he's had to endure, losing Aaron Jones, Allen Lazard being gone, Christian Watson barely playing this year, getting in Jalen Reed, that was a great bright spot. Romeo Dubes, I'm telling you, I like Jordan Love for the future. Justin Fields is supposedly safe for the future. So this is like the future game. Love versus Fields. Two guys that at one point were written off, have turned the ship around. got the fan bases behind them, got the receivers behind them. So this could be. I think this is going to be one of those thrilling games. One of the more thrilling games on the schedule. Cowboys and Commanders. That's a get right game for the Cowboys. Get everybody, some incentive points and get them out of there. Seahawks, Cardinals, same thing. Philly and the Giants. Now this what sucks about the Eagles is because in fantasy football we've been waiting for this game, and it came late. It came a week late because the Eagles have had a fucking crazy schedule the last month. If you've had an Eagles player, you know what I'm talking about. The last 4 games they've had to play are just completely brutal. And now they get the Giants the week after playoffs are over, the week after the season's over, and the players are probably going to do what they're supposed to do and put up some good stats. That's tough. Broncos and Raiders, this is the poop bowl. This is straight poop bowl. I like the Broncos though still. I think the interim coach Antonio Pierce gets the job. I think he gets the job, man. I really do. He's done a hell of a job turning the ship around a little bit. He got some real good praise from his players, man. Like this team looked like they were dead in the water, couldn't do anything. They rallied behind them. They won every way possible, and that's what it's really about. It's not always about flashiness. It's about winning at the end of the day. And the Raiders have won some very impressive games. So I would like to see Antonio Pierce get the job. I would like to see what he can do. I would also like to see what they're going to do in the offseason. They got some big questions to answer. Kansas City and LA. Mahomes is not going to go, I don't think. I don't know. If he does play, it's going to be a quick one. Incentives, get some touchdowns, get Travis Kelce in the paint a couple of times. They're in LA. So they're going to have to go turn up afterwards. So look for some good stuff from the Rams playmakers. From the Chiefs playmakers. Keenan Allen, man, I hope you get healthy. The Chargers have some real question marks. Head coach is gone. What are they going to do? Offense, you have the weapons there. You got the quarterback there. You really just need the head coach to steer the ship the right way. So that's going to be a good game for the future as far as just looking at the Chargers offense and just seeing what's going on. Last game, Buffalo versus the Dolphins. Now this game is for the division, I believe. I believe if the Bills win, they get the 2 seed. So this is a huge game. Look for everybody to all weapons to go. It's in Miami. So I look for Josh Allen to throw the ball around a little bit. Diggs to get going. Gabe Davis to get going. Once again, where was this game at last week in the championship for us? We needed a game like this. A high-scoring game that's probably going to break the scoreboards a little bit. This is what we needed. But overall, Week 18, man, there's always going to be something happening in Week 18 that you don't expect because this is the NFL. The draft is pretty much set as far as the top 5, Bears, Commanders, Pats, Cards, and Giants. That's pretty much set in stone right now. So there's not too much fluctuation that's going to happen with a win or a loss or anything of that nature. So I think there's going to be a couple upsets here and there because of that situation that I just told you. You got to remember, the NFL is not the NBA where the worst team just gets extra balls in the basket and doesn't necessarily get the first pick. The worst team is the Bears are going to get the number 1 pick. They've already said Justin Fields is safe. So look for them to add if I were the Bears, I'm adding an offensive lineman. But look for them to probably get, a wide receiver and then, they'd have the number 10 pick, I believe. So overall, though, I'm telling you, someone's lying. There's too many quarterbacks that are supposed to go top 10, top 5. For the Bears and the Cardinals, I've already said their 2 quarterbacks are safe. So the Commanders, Pats, and the Giants, that's 3 quarterbacks. All 3 of them need quarterbacks. There ain't no ifs, ands, and buts about it. They all 3 need quarterbacks. So I'm very interested to see as we get closer to the draft, as we get closer to that day, what these teams decide to do. And also take this time to really look into the future for fantasy football. See, even though you've won the championship, even though you might have lost, this is where you get better. You look and see which one of these guys show out, because I'm here to tell you that's who's up next. That's who's up next. These guys who get their opportunity at the end of the season, they show out, they show out. They show up, they show out. They show up, they show out. These guys are the next ones up for next year. And that's what you got to keep your eye on, man. You got to keep your eye on this fantasy football doesn't stop, folks. It's 365. And the only way out is to log out. And once you log out, man, you can't remember your password. But this is That Guy Jig Sports Podcast. I am him, JIG. Remember to subscribe, rate, and review. Follow the Instagram for posts and betting props. We're here with it. This train has been rolling. I'm glad you're on board with me. Let's keep it going and let's keep it flowing. Once again, this is That Guy Jig Sports Podcast. I am him, JIG. This is the NFL. And once again, if you won your fantasy football league, congratulations. If you didn't, get better. Don't make excuses. Get better. All right? Peace.